The materials that I don't need, I went ahead and set them aside. So these are the materials that I'm going to start with. I have my 1 inch thick by 2 by 2 foam board, and then a couple foam blocks, and down on the floor here I have my cauldron. So I'm going to put the foam blocks on the sheet. First I got to decide where I want them, and then I'm going to hot glue them on. So I'm going to grab my cauldron. I picked this up at Goodwill for like, I think $4. So mine's a gently used one. I want the white foam blocks apart enough so I can put the lights for the fire underneath the cauldron and they're seen. So I'm just going to try to get the styrofoam blocks sitting on the outside of the cauldron as much as I can without, you know, having have the cauldron fall off. So I think I got it about where I want it. So I'm going to remove the cauldron and then hot glue my pieces down. I'm going to go ahead and draw a mark around 2 sides of the blocks of styrofoam so I know where I have them, so when I flip them over to glue them down, I don't move my spots. So just gonna do a quick line and then put a good amount of glue, hot glue, on the bottom of these pieces of styrofoam so it'll stick good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cauldron back up on the little blocks here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and start spraying the large foam gap. Kind of move some stuff around a little bit. So I'm just spraying this. I'm not making it look pretty. I'm just spraying it wherever I can. I want to cover as much of the block as I can. So I'm just kind of going all over. I did end up using a whole can of this, so now I'm going to go ahead and add on my little skeleton bones and stuff. So I have these hands that I want to put like they're coming out of the fire, but I want them propped up a little, so I'm going to use that to prop that up. And then I think I'll use the can on this side to prop it up until it dries. And I'm going to put some bones in there. Some eyeballs. A couple mice. Now I'm going to go ahead and let all this dry, and then when it dries I'm going to go ahead and spray paint it. Okay, so this is day 2. I went ahead and let all this foam spray set overnight just to make sure it hardened. So right now what I'm going to do is go ahead and move the cauldron and just set it aside for a minute. That way I can work on a couple things that I have to do yet. I want to have this skeleton head at the front of the board here. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue that on right now. Okay, so that's on. Now that I have that on, I'm going to go ahead and tape some of the skeleton bones and some of the eyeballs and stuff. So when I go out and spray paint it, not all of it gets spray painted. Then I can just remove the spray paint and then those parts will be still sticking out, because I want it to look like they've been burnt but not totally burnt. So I've got a couple pieces that I cut up of just painter's tape that I'm just going to place over, different places right now. So I kind of want some of the eyeballs to be showing, but not all of it. And then the little mouse here. I'm trying to make sure that I don't cover any of that foam, because I don't want the foam to show. So if I put tape over the foam, then that's going to show and it's going to stick out. I don't want that to happen. So a little bit of the eyeball here too. And then I have a couple of the bones, like this one just come out. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe I'll just remove these ones right now that are coming off, and then after I spray paint, I'll go ahead and just hot glue these back on. So this mouse did too. So I'm just going to set those aside, and then I'll be able to just hot glue them on. So for the hands here, I don't want the front part spray painted. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put a big piece of tape over it. I think I want a couple of these bones down here covered up as well. So I'm going to put a little tape on those. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting tape on this piece, and then I'm going to take it outside and spray paint it and then let it dry, and we'll be back in a minute. This is day 3 of the cauldron build. So I spray painted it all black, let it set for a day to kind of dry up and then get rid of some of that spray paint smell. So right now what I'm going to go ahead and do is take off the tape that I covered certain parts of the bones and skeleton pieces with. So when I spray painted, it wasn't all getting black, so it kind of looks like some of the pieces didn't get burnt, but then most of it did. So I'm going to go ahead and take off all the tape and see how it looks. Oh, I do like how the eyeballs look. Those turned out cute. I have all the tape off and everything. I do have one bone that kind of fell off, so I'm going to go ahead and hot glue that on real quick. I know right where it was at. It's right here in the front, so I'm just going to put a little hot glue down onto the foam and then just set that in. That does kind of stick out, so I think what I'm going to do is find some black paint and just go ahead and touch up that. And then I have an area over here that I'm going to touch up with. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to start in the area over here. There is a mouse right here that when I put the tape over it, it kind of got onto the styrofoam spray. So I'm going to just paint that with my black paint. So I'm just going to put a little on my brush and then just dab onto that and cover that up. Yeah, that works pretty good. And then kind of look around the styrofoam to see if there's any other areas that I want to cover up and get that taken care of now, since I have the black paint out. think in the skeleton's eyeball here, I'm gonna get that a little bit. Looks like when I took the paint or the tape off, the paint come off a little bit of the inside. So I'm gonna do that a little bit. Then for that bone here, I'm just gonna go ahead and brush some on in different spots. This is gonna be the front, so I'm gonna go ahead and focus a little bit right now on that area and create a little grass-like look with some moss. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of a little puff of moss and put a little hot glue down, and then just put that moss on top of that hot glue. When I spray painted this board, the board itself is like a styrofoam sheet, an insulation sheet. So when I spray painted, there was some of the board that kind of got like little divots from the spray paint, and I kind of like that look. I think it added to the overall character of it. So I'm trying not to go and cover those spots, but again, I just want like a little bit of grass look. I might go ahead with that black paint and just put a little blackness onto the moss too, so it looks like that got burnt a little bit too. So I'm just putting the glue down and putting the moss on top of the glue. I did end up using a whole bag of reindeer moss. So now what I think I'm going to do is go around in with my black paint and my paintbrush and add a little bit of black paint onto sections of the moss, so it looks like it's a little charred as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I'm actually going to just go ahead and put some on the styrofoam board here, and then I can just kind of pat it. Any loose spots of the moss, I'll just go ahead and glue down, because I want to make sure it's nice and secure, because we do get a little bit of wind in our area, and it's going to be out on my front porch. If this was in the house, I wouldn't worry about it too much, other than the cats. So maybe I wouldn't have done it, the moss, if I was doing it in the house, because I know my cats get curious and they probably would go ahead and bite into it a little bit. Now that I have the moss in place, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 more mice on the actual board. So I'm just going to go ahead again with the hot glue and then just put a little hot glue on the bottom of the mice, and then just kind of stick them wherever. I picked most of my supplies up either at the Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby. I think I ended up getting my moss at Micheals. My styrofoam board or insulation board I did get at Lowe's, though. I was working on my village, and I had that piece I thought I was going to use for the village, and I didn't end up using it, so I used it for this project instead. Okay, so now the inside where the cauldron is going to sit, I want it to light up a little bit. So I have some orange Halloween lights. I'm going to go ahead and plug them in for a second. So you get the idea of how it's going to look with the lights. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it because I need all the lights underneath, and right now they're not all underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. So when it's out on my porch, it'll be close to the outlet, so I'll just leave this little part kind of hanging out. I'm going to take some branches and then just go ahead and build what is my fire. And I think I'm just going to kind of put a little glue on one end and on the other end, so then it can just kind of, or push it into the board a little bit, and then they'll stick together. So it's kind of creating a little teepee effect. Now that the sticks are in place, I'm going to go ahead and put the cauldron on. And then we're going to fill the cauldron. The cauldron is going to be outside on my front porch, and we get a lot of wind, so I thought I'd go ahead and weigh it down. I'm using those patio bricks that I used last year to hold my basket that had my Christmas tree in it. So that should be enough weight where it won't blow away. Then to help fill this, I'm going to use 2 styrofoam blocks. I don't know where I got it. I just found some styrofoam. I use the styrofoam pieces for building my village. So now that those are in there, I don't want that white showing. So what I'm going to do is add a tablecloth. Go ahead and put it in there and stuff it around the blocks. And that covered that up. Now, I want the inside of the cauldron to have a little bit of light. So what I'm gonna need to do is cut a little hole in the bottom of the cauldron, but I first wanna put my, my lights in here. So then I know how I want them laid out. Just gonna kind of place them in, slide that cord down. This is a thicker cauldron, so what I had to do is take it out to the garage, drill a hole, and then I used some little clippers to clip the hole larger so I could get the end of the light strand through it. And then I went ahead and plugged them into extension cords so you can kind of see. I know you can't really see the purple lights in here, but I did add the purple lights. So now for my finishing touches, I have some skull heads that I picked up at Dollar Tree. So I'm just gonna put a base layer down and just kind of, so I'm gonna set them in like this. So I have 4 in. And then these last 4, so I have a total of 8. I'm just gonna go ahead and glue, kind of see where I want them first. And so I want to go ahead and add this spider. I think I'm just going to have it kind of like it was coming out of the pot, so kind of glue it at an angle. So I'm just putting a little hot glue on the cauldron in a few places so it'll secure that. The witch has her cauldron all full and ready to make potions.